step into the sun if you'd like to. Always welcome to do that. So this is our fruit tree arboretum. We have avocado and lychee and mango and anonas and jackfruit, black sapote, macadamia, some citrus, all kinds of things in here. And this area, for years, we've basically managed it by mulching and mowing and some herbicide spray. So mulch, mow, herbicide, and of course we would fertilize, we would use irrigation for the trees. But we were challenged at one point to think about how we could eliminate some of the mowing, eliminate some of our herbicide sprays, and look at maybe adding another livestock component into the farm. And so we envisioned, how can we turn this into a silvopasture system? And so it took a lot of fencing, and we decided that sheep were probably the best option. We could have used maybe chickens out here, something like that. We could run chicken tractors around. We felt like sheep could actually take advantage of the grasses, and there's a lot of obstacles in here to moving chicken tractors through. There's ups and downs, there's low areas, whereas the sheep, they just move themselves. Now we are confining them to certain areas, so they're also doing a little bit of that. It is rotational grazing. We're not confining them really tightly. They have quite a bit of freedom. There's a central point there where they've got their structure, and they can kind of always get back to that if they want to. There's water there, and so we move their grazing paddock around kind of throughout this area in kind of like a semicircle, and this is the hub of the wheel, a half-pack wheel, I guess. So we've had the sheep in here, I think, for 3 years now, and I'd say for the most part it's really been working well. You will notice that the trees are skirted, so the lower branches are gone. We did a little bit of pruning, but the sheep did some pruning. And so all the trees are going to have some skirting going on where the animals have removed those lower leaves. And so that's just part of the deal. So, there's probably been some impact on the trees that way, but we still have fruit production down there. You can see the avocados, they're still producing low. So we don't mow in here, except very occasionally we will mow just to knock seed heads down. Or in the summer actually is the time when we might mow because we don't have enough sheep to keep up with the growth in the summer. But we don't really want to expand the flock in the summer, and then we get in trouble in the winter when the grass starts to slow down. So you have this bumper crop of forage in the summer. But what we noticed is that, kind of getting to the silvopasture, the agroforestry element, is that we've had the forage grasses have grown up onto these berms. Now these berms used to be totally mulched before, so kind of like this one is here. It's just all mulch, nothing growing there. All these berms were that way. And so now those berms are being grazed, and they're mixtures of broadleaves and grasses and all kinds of stuff. And they are now kind of into production. So I think that's it's part of additional light has come in. It's part of the management that we've not been doing. We're not spraying anymore.
What are the challenges?
Yeah, so challenges would be there's some branches where they've damaged even sheep. Sheep are generally pretty nice, pretty docile on your trees, but if they get bored, they'll do some of that same stuff. They'll chew on your bark and mess up your trees, so they've done a little bit of that. I would say not much though, pretty minimal. It certainly hasn't been nearly to the extent that the cattle did out there. So I feel like we're actually in a really kind of stable, happy ecosystem kind of place out here. more so maybe than we are in that silvopasture area.
And then these are new citrus he's planted?
Yeah, so we've been dealing with this avocado disease that I was talking about on the porch on Monday. And so we've lost quite a few avocado trees. So actually about a dozen trees out of this little plot here. And so, and some of the trees are suffering a little bit. We're sort of seeing the loss of the trees diminish, so we've not been losing them at the same rate, but we decided that we wanted to interplant citrus back into kind of one zone of the farm where we can give citrus a little more care and keep it all in one place. We used to have it really dispersed everywhere. So the idea is here that we can bring back citrus, utilize these protective bags, IPCs, and have them in one spot. So that's the goal. So we're trying to utilize really the space that's been opened up by losing these avocados, and also kind of anticipating more loss of avocados in the future. But that remains to be seen, like how much pest pressure is going to continue or whatever with this ambrosia beetle and the laurel wilt.
Is that typical to plant avocados and citrus on berms, or that just is how it was done when these were first
So
put in?
it is in Florida, yeah.
Because of the wet.
Yeah,
ground
drainage.
water table.
Avocado is very sensitive to poor drainage, poorly drained soils. This area is not drained real well. It's had these roads kind of put in around it, and it's sort of become a little basin. And so it drains kind of slowly. If I had to do it again, I would orient these berms the other way so they could drain like out to the road. But there's not a very good outlet for the water from this area, so it stays pretty wet in there. So if we didn't have avocados up on berms in this area, there'd be no avocado. Guaranteed. Okay.
Could we